For you at 4 today, Governor Doug Burgum signed an executive order declaring a statewide fire emergency, which activates the State Emergency Operations Plan to pre-position resources for a rapid wildfire response. Now, here's a look at the current burn restrictions and fire danger map. Nearly 3,500 acres have burned in North Dakota in the last week alone across 67 reported fires. Above average temperatures, gusty winds, low humidity, and significant amounts of dry vegetation have combined to create high fire danger conditions in some parts of the state. Emergency officials say that fires can spread rapidly under these conditions.